Hello and welcome back to another episode of TACHES Teaches. I'm Tash and this is part 8 in a series on mindset hacks. Today I'd like to talk about cheating. There are many things that are often viewed as cheating. Using sample packs, presets, AI plugins, auto-tune, the sync button on a CDJ. In fact, DJing in general rather than playing an instrument live. The list goes on. Conversations among creatives very often turn towards the actions of others that we do not personally deem to be proper. There is often this irrational frustration that arises when we find out that someone else creates in a way that is not in line with what we think is acceptable. So why do some things feel like cheating? And by cheating I mean not doing things the proper way. We often dive deeply and with great passion into the things that interest us, and through those deep dives we learn to appreciate the complexity and nuances of processes and techniques that come with them. With a deeper understanding of something comes a higher ascribed level of importance. Therefore, when we see people achieve something without taking into account that level of complexity and importance, we can feel that they are cheating. Cheating who, though? The world? Us? Themselves? How dare they not do properly what I put so much of my time and passion into learning how to do? The thing is, they probably don't do it properly because it's just not important to them. And by not important, I don't mean the end result. That may be just as important. Instead, placing importance on the necessity for specific processes to be complex. When I DJ, I always use the sync button. I only ever turn it off and beat match manually when the sync feature isn't working on a particular track. I know many DJs who abhor the use of the sync button and say that I'm cheating. But you know what? I don't care, because beat matching isn't important to me. What's important to me when I DJ is playing songs that move me. That's it. My style of DJing could be viewed by others as lacking in complexity or technique, but I'm absolutely fine with that because, again, those things just aren't important to me. Or let's take, for example, a hypothetical #1 deep house summer smash hit that was made exclusively using pre-made samples from the Sun-Drenched Vibes Complete Deep House Construction Pack, with a few lines sang on top about feeling good when I'm with you. This hypothetical song is the track of the summer, and bodies are moving to it across the globe. Couples confess their love to each other as they lie listening to it off their phones under the stars. Parents form the most wonderful memories while they dance to it with their babies in their arms as it plays on the radio in the garden. It becomes the unforgettable anthem among friend groups on countless last road trips before they split up for university. The song is objectively successful. It is objectively moving many people. It is objectively playing a part in the formation of many beautiful occasions and memories. But we sit on the sidelines and declare, this is shit. It's cheating. But what we're really saying, however, is the processes required to create this piece of art are not in line with the level of complexity I expect, and therefore I do not respect it. Music, after all, is art, and most of these forms of cheating are quite modern. So the argument that this hypothetical track isn't art is much the same as saying that modern art is not art. But I could just paint a canvas red. I could just place an unmade bed in the middle of a room. I could take a shit on a napkin and call it art. In the same way that any one of us could literally have created a large majority of what's known to be the finest works of modern art, we could probably have created a large majority of the lowbrow popular modern music. But the point is the same with both the modern art and the modern music. We didn't. So why then didn't we make those smash hits? Because we would not have allowed ourselves to make something so apparently lacking in complexity, so simple and absent of characteristic expertise. Perhaps we are just arbitrarily more enamored with complexity than they were. When we view an artist at a festival stage in front of 100,000 people, dancing along to that smash hit deep house summer anthem, and we think to ourselves, I could do that. Think again, because if you could, why didn't you? If you could just throw some loops into your DAW and create a mega successful career out of it, then why didn't you? There's something holding you back. It's probably just not what you want, and because it's not what you want, what's important to you is different from what's important to them. And because of that crucial difference in the location of importance, they are making millions playing to hundreds of thousands, and we are sat here theorizing about the complexities of art. What I find to be quite funny is that for as much as I believe that I do not care about what others think about me, I am filled with fear about what others would think about me if I were to do something that lacked the complexity that I aim to express with my art. Talent and knowledge aside, there is something that I just do not have, that I would need to have in order to be the kind of successful that would be on the homepage of Spotify. I have, in my career, passed on many opportunities that would surely have propelled me towards owning a few houses. I have said no to a great deal of things that objectively would have benefited me. But why? Because the price to pay would have sacrificed parts of myself that I deemed to be the most important, or I would have had to cheat myself. So what is my point? For even I feel like I've sort of lost myself a bit here. I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever you do and however you do it, there will be other people who will view parts of your processes as cheating and improper. And while that could be viewed negatively, I prefer to think of it as a free pass to do whatever the hell I want, whenever I want. We must ask ourselves, what do I consider acceptable and what do I not? Do I consider the use of loops to be acceptable? And if so, how acceptable? What are the boundaries of this acceptability? And these boundaries will change over our lifetimes, and that's normal too. But let's try to never let our views of what is acceptable in our work cross the line into what's acceptable in the work of others. Criticizing the work of others requires energy, and that energy could be used on creating our own work. There is a place for everyone's art in this world, and really no one's art is absolutely better than anyone else's. For the value of a piece of art is in the individual observer, and even that changes over time. A piece of art is good if the person viewing it feels that way in that moment. And a piece of art is bad if the person viewing it feels that way in that moment. So, whatever. You can't ever satisfy everyone with your behaviour. If I were to cut down a tree with a butter knife and hand carve a beautiful table from it, there would be someone who would complain that I didn't grow the tree from seed. Carl Sagan said, if you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe. The end goal should be to create as much art in your lifetime as possible. Do what feels right for you with what feels right for you in that moment, and damn everyone else's view. But with this comes the need to let others do what feels right for them also. As long as we work within the parameters of what we deem to be exciting and important, we will continue to satisfy our number one fans, ourselves. Each time we find ourselves quietly judging the behaviours of another, we must remember that the reason that they are doing or not doing that thing in a way that we deem to be proper is it's just not as important to them as it is to us. Therefore, our judgment is kind of pointless. Ultimately, it's the end result that is important. And if it's the end result that's important, then the importance that's ascribed to the individual processes is sort of nullified once a piece of work is finished. A finished piece of work made simply is worth more to the world than an overly complex piece that sits unfinished. To be an artist is to express your personal reality. It's not the techniques you use, it's what you say. And it's not even really what you say, it's how you choose to say it. It's important to always remember that what others do or do not do is none of our business. What is our business is only those things that are ours to control. I hope that this little chat has in some ways tickled your senses. If so, then please do consider subscribing to this channel to keep up to date with all the future powwows. If you'd like to support me even further, then you may consider becoming a patron too. Best wishes always, friends. Happy Sunday and happy creating.